I have to say, it is amazing to see such a diverse group. People who have been leading businesses for decades, people who are coming into leadership roles, and an incredibly impressive group of women who are now leaders in our business community. And I would just want to say, wow, and I want to say, keep going. What you're doing is incredible. What I thought I would do is just share a few words around what we see in the business world today. I joke with people, but it's true. We don't need to be the smartest people in the world at PWC. What we need to do is be the best listeners, because we get the privilege to meet with hundreds of people like you on a weekly basis all across the globe. As the great team introduced me, I have 6 children. Their ages 15 to 23. They are without a doubt my hardest critics. I was talking to my youngest this morning before he went off to his summer job, and I told him I was meeting with this amazing group, and he said, "Dad, just don't screw it up." So you can tell him later if I got that right or not. But what I want to do is I want to share with you why I'm so excited about the future. I know in our worlds, as CEOs, as board members, as country leads, I know we see a lot of challenges on a day-in and day-out basis. It comes with the territory as we run our businesses, as we lead our organizations. But I want to share with you why I'm so bullish. And I'm going to actually start off by sharing a little bit about a couple of my children. My second oldest daughter, she started her career, her July 10th, 2023, on Monday. She's now in her 3rd day. She is a sustainability accountant. She is working in the field that she is passionate about, around making our environment safe for our children and our grandchildren as we make that transition. Her boyfriend, who was a professional ice hockey player, is now a specialist in artificial intelligence, and he is working with an insurance company to work to help make sure their claims process becomes fully automated, increases in quality, increasing efficiency, building machine-based learning, generative AI, and bringing that to the processes. My oldest son is a tax accountant. He was drawn to tax accounting because he's fascinated with policy and tax policy around how do you get money to the hardest hit parts of our society so we can lift people up. And he wants to study tax policy to understand how do you take tremendous tax receipts all across the globe, across the United States, and get it to people who are less fortunate than most of us in this room. And the reason I'm so bullish is because at PWC in the US and Mexico, every year, we onboard over 20,000 people, just like my 2 oldest children. And we onboard that, and they want to change the world. They see the opportunity. They see the opportunity to take a really, really good economy, really good societies, and make them even better. For me, I see nothing but upside when I get the chance to see what you're all doing at your companies. And I have the privilege of meeting one-on-one with over 400 CEOs on an annual basis all across the globe. And what I see our business and our clients doing is I see them focus not only on the big macro things that are beyond their control, but I see them focusing on the things that they can control. So first, there's a lot of things they can't control. They can't control U.S.-China relationships, they can't control war in Ukraine, they can't control what our elected officials at the federal level do, they can't control inflation. But what they can control is they can control how quickly they adapt their businesses. They can control how quickly they adopt technology, how aggressively they change operating models that have been in place for 20 and 30 years to be more competitive. They can control whether they're going to be the disruptive organization or the disruptor organization, and they can control how quickly they react to what their customers are telling them around climate. And from my perspective, they're doing an amazing job. I had the privilege yesterday and Monday of being in Monterrey and here now in Mexico City. I've heard from Mexican organizations how quickly you're adapting to these big trends. And that's why I believe business is doing incredibly well. I'm not worried about a recession. I know there's issues out there, but when I see the strength of consumers and when I see the big trends around climate, around nearshoring, around making sure we modernize our healthcare system, modernizing infrastructure, I see that driving tremendous growth. And I see massive opportunities for businesses to be a big part of it. But what I'd like to go to before we go to the Q&A is I'd like to ask us all to think about one thing. Because there's no doubt climate is a big issue. There's no doubt that digital disruption is a big issue in technology. But you're all leading organizations. In some cases, your organizations have 100 people, and in some cases, your organizations have 100,000 people. At the end of the day, in my humble opinion, the single biggest determinant of success or failure will be what we do with our people. Because our people are looking to us for leadership, and leadership in every sense of the word. I passionately believe that there will be a day coming very soon where investors, institutional investors, private equity investors, will begin the dialogue with all of us, not about our strategy, but around what we're doing with our people to bring them on this journey. What we're doing with our people to help make sure they're ready to adopt this new technology, they're ready to operate in a new world of climate. And the topic that I feel we can do a better job in helping determine our success or failure is what we're doing with our people. What do I mean by that? Is our work environment safe? Not just safe on climbing up a ladder, but safe to speak up, safe to bring a different point of view, safe to bring a different idea to the table, safe to speak up when the innovation that we're driving isn't quite working the way that we planned. And are we doing enough to make our organizations safe, to drive that creative spirit that we're looking for, to drive that diverse thinking that we know we need? Are we creating the safest work environment? And I think there's more room for improvement for us there. Are we bringing truly diverse views to the table? Want one thing to work on? Bring more views to the table. No one of us can know it all. We all sell to diverse customer bases. There's very few of us who sell to only one customer base. We sell to diverse customer bases. Do we have people at the table who bring the diverse view around what our customers are looking for? Do we have people who understand climate better than maybe we do? Do we have people who understand at the table who understand artificial intelligence better than we do? One of the biggest risks that we have is we miss the art of the possible because we don't have people on the table to explain to us what the art of the possible is. And diverse from every perspective at the table. And are we respecting people from all backgrounds, suspending biases that exist and unfortunately are deep-rooted in many organizations and many cultures? Are we bringing people across the table who have those diverse points of view? It is stunning to me, and I want you to know, that in just 30 years, the U.S. will not have a majority population today is white, in just 30 years. The group talked about one of the things that I was privileged to be part of is we founded a group called CEO Action for Diversity and Inclusion. It is the largest group of CEOs across the globe that has come together to deal with this issue. We have 2,800 CEOs who represent over 35 million employees in the United States. And what we've committed to doing is to bring those diverse points of view, create a safe organization where everybody can succeed. Why? It's absolutely the right thing to do, but without doing it, we won't be successful. And as I travel the globe, we all have that opportunity as leaders of global businesses to bring those points of view, to make it safe, have the right people around the table, and make sure we're listening to the people who represent the views of our customers. I had the privilege back in May to be the commencement speaker and receive an honorary doctorate degree at Babson College, where I graduated from 35 years ago. And I shared with them and the graduates, we all have hopes and dreams. We all have amazing plans. And there's no doubt that each and every one of you as business leaders, you have an amazing plan. And I'm sure that plan is tremendous. When I graduated, I had an amazing plan. When I was elected CEO in 2016, I had an amazing plan. You would have been proud of it. My professors at Babson would have been proud of it. We were going to grow revenue. We were going to drive technology. We were going to steal market share. It was really original. But what I shared with the students is what I figured out in my first week of the job at PWC in 2016 as CEO. If you recall back in 2016, the first week of my tenure, the first week in July, 7 years ago, we had violence in Louisiana, we had violence in Minneapolis, and on that Thursday night we had shootings in Dallas. And one person wrote me on that Friday morning, and they wrote me and they said, Tim, when I came to work that Friday morning, the silence was deafening. I couldn't talk about it. And what hit me as the CEO on that day is that my plans didn't matter if my people couldn't talk, if they couldn't collaborate. And on that day, I decided to throw the plan out the window because what I realized is that leadership is all about getting the most out of our people. And are we taking the right actions to do that? And what I share with the graduates is whatever your plan is, just remember that that plan is unachievable without the hearts and minds of our people who are going to go make it happen. And what I would ask all of us to think about is, are we spending enough time creating that environment for our people? Because in your organizations are people who are 22, 32, 45, and 60, and they all want the chance to make a difference. And your plans are there to make a difference. You are doing amazing things around digital. You are doing amazing things around climate. You are doing amazing things to grow your businesses. But I would just humbly ask, think about, are you taking the right steps to create an environment where everyone, no matter who they are, can succeed? Because when you do, the growth opportunities for you and your organizations is tremendous. And with that, I'm looking forward to the questions and answers. So thank you.